Good morning. Welcome to Goodwill Commodities. In this presentation, we are going to see how we can trade in Mcx crude oil today. Before looking into that, let us see what happened yesterday and what we expected yesterday. The chart which you are viewing is an 1 hour chart. That means all the single candlestick here represents 1 hour. Whenever I place the cursor on any particular candlestick, you can see the date and time below. These vertical dotted lines indicates the price opening and closing for the respective days. You could see this black color candlestick that indicates yesterday's price opening, which shows that the market opened somewhere near 6420s, which was more or less near to the previous day's price closing. Now let us see what happened after the price opening. What we expected yesterday was we expected that crude has got the potential to continue and maintain its up, having 6360 as one of the major support zone, and till 6320 we expected crude to stay in uptrend. Since we know that crude has moved to a longer extent, maintaining its bull trend. In order to identify the trend and support your trading, we had drawn a trend line also to guide you to stay within the trend. Now let us see what happened after the price opening. So this is the price opening. After the price opening, you can see the market slowly and steadily was entering into the resistance zone which we had marked 6460s. So you can see, as we always say, support and resistance is not a single line. It cannot be a single line. It is a zone plus or minus few points. So the price, you can see slowly, as I told you, that all these candlestick indicates 1 hour. You can see that how many times the market had hit at this resistance and it was trying to come down. Finally, let's see what happened after that. After that, the price was successful in breaking this resistance, and you can see the price was trying to create a new high compared to the previous week high. So now let us see. You can see the wick of the candlestick. We call this as a shadow wick or leg, whatever it might be. You can see it tried to create a new high, but it could not sustain that. So there was a fall which broke this support zone. Now it should be acting as a support like what it did earlier here. The same way, you can see the same type of price action what you witnessed on 19th of July. The same thing happened yesterday also. The price was struggling here and it tried to move up, and then it is a clear breakdown in this key support zone. So that is the reason we had identified using our experience. We know that 6400 zones, there was no support and resistance, and we had identified by using our experience. So you can see after breaking this, the important point is the use of these trend lines. That is the reason we insisted that trend lines are the most valuable tools if it was used in the right way. You can see the price came down and it took some support with the trend and just gave a bounce back here. After, you can see that the leg of the candlestick, a tiny, very tiny and slim wick. You can see that after that the price gave a bounce back and it could not sustain and stayed within this trend which we had identified. So there are, if you see that this is the major reason why we draw a trend line. So since it could not stay within this trend, then it should come down and test the another support zone. But you can see that this was the next support, 6412 or 16. In this particular zone we found a support, but there was so much of selling pressure that put the price down, and it came down and tested our key zone of 6360, and it closed near this zone. So today is going to be a very great day because we had explained very clearly the importance of 6360. Again, I am saying, you see how many times the market had formed a top here. You can see that after breaking that, the price created a good bull trend. So it stayed within that, and in order to identify this trend, we had drawn this trend line. After breaking this, again the price is staying in this zone. So this is going to be the very key zone. Today we can expect the price to open a bit higher than this, we are predicting the price opening based on NYMEX price direction. It may be subjected to changes based on where the rupee and dollar. You know that today these currency values are playing important role in deciding the price opening and also the volatility of the commodity prices. So you should take that into account. As far as the NYMEX price is concerned, it can open a bit above the previous day's price closing. Now you can see, if you compare the open and close, it's very clear the price has closed below the price opening, yesterday's price opening, and also it has closed below the Saturday and Friday's price closing. So these are the important point which we should know, but we know that this is going to be the key zone 6360 and this particular zone of 6320, and we had marked this as a zone here. Make a note of it. This is going to be the future for this particular contract itself. We are insisting on this. This is going to be the zone for this particular contract itself, since because we know this is a fresh and new contract, so lot of concentration is necessary in this particular zone. As we had explained it, there are two areas where the traders will find it very difficult: when the price consolidates, and the second part is when the price is at the peak of the trend. So these are the two zones. When it is trading in trend, there is nothing much that bothers the traders, but here in this particular area we had identified that, see here, once the price failed, the second time also here on the same day on 19th it failed, but on yesterday also you can see there is again a failure. That is the reason we are using our trend lines. Now what we are going to do is that we are going to draw a trend line again by using this the base reference point. We are like, you can see that how I am going to draw this trend line. So I am going to connect these two things. So you can see that how I had drawn the trend line. I have connected the low that happened on 17th of July in order to identify this trend. Why I am drawing this trend line? Because if the price is opening above this zone, for instance, it should take some support within this trend line, and it will climb all these resistance. If there is anything for buyers, if there is lot of buyers, this is the probable thing that can happen. We had also identified a downtrend line, so we had connected these two highs, and that was marked with a green color line. You can see why we had identified this downtrend line. So it will be a great guidance for us in future. Trend lines are also called support and resistance lines. Again we are saying it is not only the horizontal lines, they are called support and resistance lines. Trend lines are also a part of support and resistance line. So this can be a very potential thing in the future. Let us see that. So as far as today's trading is concerned, now we are in the very key zone. We need a lot of concentration here. So we cannot take this very easily, because from this point, from this particular zone, you can see a lot of things happening in this particular contract. So we are repeatedly saying that focus a lot on this zone. So if the price is not in line with this trend, and if it is staying below, wait for the price to reach here. The sellers, be very careful with this zone. Don't be overconfident. Again and again we are saying that unless until we get a very clear confirmation, we don't say that you can go and bet against the trend. Till we are saying that it is good for buying, but if crude sustains this two zone, it is always good for crude to stay in buying within this zone. And if there is any closing below this 6360 today, and a next closing below this 6320, it can pull the market down. So we are not saying that go and sell in this area. We are saying that stay with the trend and wait for the price to come down. Sellers, be very careful in this area. This is called the trend deciding zone 6320. Why we call this is that you can see the trend line is very near to the moving average which we are following, and it is supported with a great zone, great support and resistance. Whenever the average is converging at a major support or resistance zone, we should give a lot of importance for that, because that is called the trend deciding zone. So today is going to be a very important day for crude oil traders. So follow the trend lines, follow the rules, and stick with that. Don't be overconfident in going against the trend. Wait for the price. Still we are saying we have not changed our decision. We need some closing below these two zones to confirm that the market can reverse its trend, but still then crude is good for buying. Be very careful within this zone. Thanks a lot for watching our videos, and happy trading. Take care. Bye.